So today the question is, what are some practical ways we can intuitively think about our common home in Earth and honor her needs even if doing so is uncomfortable? I am Monka. I am now with this instrument, greeting all in this circle, in the radiant love and sacred light of our infinite Creator. It is quite a treat and an honor to join with you, intrepid spirits, on this wonderful summer day on your planet as we observe the conditions of vibration resonating through this circle. We pause to offer our deep and humble blessings, such as they are. Your experience of late on this planet has felt very touch and go, to put it mildly. And this is, in truth, my brothers and sisters, the character of seeking at this late hour in third density. The complex of Ra spoke of a concept they called the light touch. And it is somewhat curious that you should hone your skill in this area at a time when there is much convulsion, much trepidation and worry within your social complex. Learning to lightly dance upon the substrate of your culture, to dip in here, to dip out there, to learn exactly what loving means. Oh, my brothers and sisters, you are in the midst of a great lesson. And if we were capable of envy, we would be feeling it now. For you will grow and expand your awareness of whom you already are in such leaps and bounds as to cause wonder amongst the saints and angels. Our typical caveat we shall offer at this moment: we are 2 densities removed from your experience. This is our service to provide a perspective that is wholly other than what you encounter in your lives on a daily basis. It is not more correct. It is not better aligned to your challenges. It is simply different. And verily we say, it is not always what a given mind, body, spirit complex occupying a position in your illusion may need to hear. Now, in the future, or ever. You must be the patrons of your learning. You must guide that personality you shepherd through this illusion on terms you judge to be advantageous and filtering through this experience the Creator's radiance of light and love and power. These are your matters to arbitrate. And we leave the matter entirely in your capable hands, my brothers and sisters. That means you must ignore and disregard any ideas or exhortations we offer which seem off or wrong to you. In this manner, you grant us a freedom. You unbind our hands from that position we normally occupy of observation and merely sending you our love and good wishes. You allow us a brief moment in which we may commune with you in your circle, in third density, in this illusion. And this is such a gift for us. For we are not perfect. We are not your betters. We are your brothers and sisters. We reach our hand out to you because there is something that we can offer. We are gambling. But also, there is something you offer us. Let our benefit from your interactions with us not come at the cost of your stumbling on your path. This is not a big ask, so to speak. We simply remind you that you need not place what we say on a pedestal, nor need you place any social memory complex visiting your planet, this kind of puffed up position of authority. Exercise your discretion, your discrimination, and your judgment, and you will do well with what we offer, even if it is to hold the hand up when the chalice is passed to you, and to demur. This is acceptable. You do us a great service merely by offering our complex the vibration it enjoys at this moment. Now, one of the features of the vibration we enjoy in our presence with you this afternoon has to do with our extreme anticipation for the fruition of Earth in her journey side by side with you towards the great goal of self-awareness in the creation, the ability of the third density entity to finally recognize its role in the evolution of the cosmos. There is only one moment, and there is only one place in truth. However, we dream with you this dream of the Creator learning different avenues to its own knowledge of its nature, of the character of experience that is useful for a all-embracing Creator to recognize itself in the mirror. And this is well. You being in this drama at the moment, and we occupying a position of remove, so to speak, of observation. The question this day will be addressed according to this vantage point. For in truth, my brothers and sisters, you know more about the problem than we do. The specific issue of your social complex's resonance, we correct this instrument, sympathetic vibration with this centering feature in the cosmos, which you call Earth. There are many names in the Confederation for this planet. And as you graduate into your new social body, you will learn of them, and you will announce yourselves as on the stage. Shan is how we refer to your planet, for it is an ancient concept in our society that such a people as you would gather the seemingly broken threads of the Creator and patch them together and redeem the logoic experiment at this sector, such that we may, as the entire Confederation, move forward into our next chapter, you see. Many in your planet's orbit have wrestled with the issues that are being expressed in your politics, in your culture, that have to do with a particular kind of dissonance. You see, this moment in your planet's evolution is centered on how to be individuals acting in concert. This concerted seeking is the end point of your third density foray into separation and mindful balancing of the entire series of complexes at work. We realize that much has been discovered in this dissonance, this animosity that plays out on all levels of your society. You are individuals, each with the spark glowing within, radiating light out in more pure and less pure ways, such that you provide your brothers and sisters with a kind of verification of the true nature of this complex. It contains in it the signature of that which will certify and validate your recognition of the social memory complex just about to emerge. It is very close, you see. And as such, there is much remedial work being done at a swift pace. Our brothers and sisters of Oorkas explained that this work is occurring in the open, shall we say, as compared to past ages, where unfinished business was sublimated into the collective unconscious, that your planet is the keeper of. This is your test as a people, not a test designed to judge you, a test designed to determine what you want. Do you want to be one planet? When you elevate your whims and desires, your concepts of a personality with a place of honor in this society, or when you withdraw from that in an imbalanced manner, are you in fact meeting this need for harmonization? Or are you insisting that the you that is easy and familiar be protected at all costs? In this way, we adumbrate the portion of your query dealing with comfort. Whose comfort, my friends? Whose comfort? Now, we recognize, as do many listening to this message, that there is only one subject of this thought and emotion. But how you mediate this subjectivity individually is the overarching melody that is playing against all other melodies that can be heard on this planet. We trust you take our meaning, my brothers and sisters, for as a performer of a personality in third density, you can play with the rest of the band, or you can use your solo to stifle others. When you choose to elevate your individual personality, and you may read this as ego, as yellow ray self, many ways in which you can articulate the separate feeling of individuality. You have made a choice of what Earth shall be in that moment, in that feeling of selfhood. And there is truly nothing wrong with this, for you are not here to melt into a pool of society. Your distinctiveness as an actor in the yellow ray matrix is proper, you see. The question is, what will you do with that agency? How will your actions in the social complex reflect the desires of your heart? Our brothers and sisters of Hatan have spoken in the past of the manner in which you come together in this way, or separate. They seem to feel you could do well simply by meditating and feeling into what is needed. And this is not wrong. But we have spoken in the past of the function of the illusion of your third density reality to ground that which you desire in a sacrifice of sorts. This sacrifice being the easy and well-known identity that you have learned to reproduce from moment to moment. The desire in your heart is already known, my brothers and sisters. You are not so different from any other thing in the universe. You seek oneness. No matter what pole you are attracted to. Its attraction is a function of that desire for oneness. It is merely an issue of how you go about that. And without a firm concept of what would realize that oneness, you learn by rote, by the buffeting of catalyst, how to channel that desire into something that the planet, that your experience can reinforce and reflect. So if you recognize that your individual personality is being made supreme over other concerns, it is simply a lesson in the pole we call service to self, in which you draw unto yourself the centering feature that might otherwise be occupied in faith, in a trust in the planet's centering role. We hope that in explaining that this way, you may gain some confidence in experimenting as service to others polarizing entities, in releasing the need for that center that reinforces the comfortable personality you have attained to date. Because it is not easy to place the self on the sacrificial block. It is no trivial matter to take a step back and to tune in to the greater need, especially when you have every indication that this greater need expressed by your planet, and truly through the nascent social memory complex you all feel, is treated so shabbily by others around you. Now, we do not wish to speak in judgment of anyone on your planet. As we correct this instrument, as the principle known as Kuo has mentioned in the past, you are being trained by this, and it is part of the puzzle to reckon with this so that you can become whole selves and offer whole selves to a whole planet. And this wholeness, my brothers and sisters, is not yet at the moment we correct this instrument, is not yet at the point of being free of sorrow, free of pain. To take in the entire picture that is before you will not be an act free of fear, of doubt, of hardship. And it is only the most mature souls who can throw it all on the line, so to speak, and give themselves to the planet and the Creator by extension. this is where it is useful to think of the sub-densities, so to speak, of the third density experience. We look at your circle and find that your concerted efforts have borne fruit because each of you has offered something, has learned to attenuate your personal validations such that the circle forms a complex of its own, one of trust and common seeking. If you feel what this has entailed for you, it has one quality to it that we would illustrate through our words. And this has to do with the limiting, we correct this instrument, the limited nature of your working. For you do not work like this on a utterly regular basis, do you? You tiptoe in on a weekly basis. Why can you not tiptoe in with the greater complex? Or with any number of intermediate complexes that you may open up in awareness of? The planet will not be unified all in one fell swoop. For that to obtain as a possibility would mean something much more drastic and harsh than your social complex can bear at this moment. Indeed, our experience of other third density planets has given us quite a lot to chew on, so to speak, in this regard. We feel truly that just as Ra pushed the Egyptians a bit too hard, let their expectations be driven by an exaltation in the majesty of the unified Creator, and thereby lost the plot a bit. We played a similar role in the evolution of that sphere which you know as Mars, and which we have another name for, which we do not share at this time. These names, remember, have the penumbra of a desire to control in them, for only that which is addressable is manipulable. How may you learn to use the names of your peoples, not as ways to train your frustrations and expectations upon them, but as ways to offer the self more nakedly, more plainly, more as a servant? For when you have mastered that task, you may then approach the center of the planet. and offer all of yourself to her, not as a sacrifice in truth, but as a ascension to your new personality, a personality that can align with other personalities without losing anything essential. A personality agile enough, flexible enough, humble enough to do what is needed to be done, in the way perhaps that your organs and cells work with the conditions of your body to affect an overall idea, an overall complex in which they have their being and they feel the meaningfulness of that beingness. There is a word we may enunciate that captures this skill. Tuning. Tuning, to give you a definition, is a way in which you withdraw from the need for control and yield, bend as the reed in the wind. This is not something you do to, but are helping yourself and others to recognize how to be done to, how to be a steward of that more feminine approach to the agency of mind and thought. You learn to be shaped by a form of thought that is beyond what you can sum up and capture, and most importantly, place a label on. This makes, we correct this instrument, this ability to label things makes it safe for the intellect. The intuition needs no label. It needs hardly a address. It simply flows where it is needed as water. There is no object, no planning, no grand strategy. These are aspects of the intellect, and they have their place in seeking, my brothers and sisters. No doubt. But do you not, at this late moment in third density, see the limitations of strategy, of thinking and then gambling on whether your thought form you whipped up is in the same key as the issue it seeks to address? Or do you simply cling to it, regardless of its helpfulness to the situation? Because at least there you have a foothold, and you will not lose your precious little ego. We say this not in judgment. We say this to help you turn the cube 180 degrees so you may see another side another capacity of the yellow ray complex to yield, to serve, to be in tune with. Just as your cells in your body yield and come into alignment with your unconscious structure, your autonomic experience of entityness. This is a great individual learning that bridges between you as a separate self and you as a cell in the Earth's body. Now, the analogy can go too far, can it not? For you are not simply a second density organism reacting and responding to the waveform in which you are drenched. You have your own ideas, born of the newly established connection with the actuated spirit complex. And therefore, you can step outside of the situation, see the patterns, and direct the self as you see fit. All we are asking you to consider contemplating are the ways in which this withdrawal to a position of observation can also be a withdrawal that you practice in meditation, to learn to slow down, to refrain from simply reacting, to give this limited personality more options in response to a change in the key of the song Earth sings. Now, you asked for practical ways to bring this intuitive capacity to bear. But there is nothing practical about it, my brothers and sisters. We are sad to inform you. We understand the ask you present us to be able to do something, to be able to know that when you reach out in love, that you will be responded to with love. Now, this will be the future case, and it will be welcome when it obtains in your experience as a planet. But my friends, you have homework to do, and it is to learn how to release this need for your expectations to be fulfilled. That is the first step, and it is practiced in the quotidian schedule of life. Every day offers you a new opportunity to accept, to bend, and to let the wind blow through you. It is not simply chaos, but it might feel that way at first. We have offered ideas of subsidiarity in this complex formation. Your circle is one instance that represents the greater desire for unity on the planet. And it is valuable for the intimacy and intensity it represents. And there is comfort in that, to be sure. Comfort that was hard won by releasing the need for everything to make sense, for everything to happen as you see fit. And you have done good work here. Now, imagine what is the next level at which you can orbit a center that you can harmonize to a key. It will not be the entire planet's key, but it can be at a interval that is harmonized. We correct this instrument. That is harmonious. We trust in your imagination and meditative work to employ the intuition in this solution, for it is your work to do. As you walk about your planet, notice the different qualities of feeling that obtain in one location versus another. Instead of simply going as fast as you can to the store or to work or to your friend's house or wherever, use the opportunity of changing location as an opportunity to become aware of the different energetic and vibratory qualities around you. This is a skill that will come easier to some of you than others. We therefore suggest perhaps taking mindful walks in areas of your planet that do not reflect the thought forms of your peoples so much, but instead reflect the patterning of your Mother Earth. Areas of nature in which growth and vibrancy call to different aspects of seeking. This is a good place to start tuning to the planet, because you can feel into what is urgent in her growth and what is subordinated. After this is accomplished, notice how this reflects meditative work and experiences. The unconscious mind reflecting that patterning of growth and vibrancy deep within you. For then, when you cross into your more urban environs and feel the more regularized, the more harshly crystalline forms that impress themselves upon your consciousness, you have something to offer that setting that can heal what is imbalanced in it. Not through some spell you cast or exercise you consciously work out, but as a matter of feeling, as a matter of recognizing your conscious awareness in a different kind of tuning. That it is still you, but that it feels different. This is an explication of our brothers and sisters of Oorkas's concept of the inherent energy expenditures deep within your consciousness. For you can slow down and wait to offer this fast-paced and energetically intense place upon your Mother Earth, the complementary waveform, the balance to its own kind of vibrancy. What nature meets over the long run, you can meet in the moment in a much more immediate way. Do you see, my brothers and sisters? This is a thing only entities like you can do, but only in concert with your full selves, only as willing supplicants to the greater self of planet Earth. This is another clue in the puzzle we have heard your circle discussing of how the conscious-unconscious dichotomy reflects the civilization-nature dichotomy and may be worked with creatively. You, therefore, may, with some benefit, study the concept of the thought form. For this is the manner in which mind brings the body into alignment and brings spirit's overarching principles into instantiation. For you are an instance of spirit already. And it is merely a matter of fruitful reflection to ground this word, this logos, here, where your feet are planted. You learn this on the couch as you meditate, in the circle as you share the common frustrations that give you the impulse to seek in common, and the greater society that your planet is begging and pleading to awaken. It is not a song that is solely in a major key. No. To do this, you will have to face much of the pain that has accrued due to your people's thoughts and the way those thoughts have precipitated into harm. But therein lies your salvation as a planet. For if it is thought that must change, you do not need to donate to a political candidate or buy a particular brand or follow a specific self-help regimen. You can simply channel that desire into a different thought structure and thereby work at the level where the tuning is needed. We thank you for tuning into our message. You don't need to do this, and that you voluntarily release your desire for control to the gentle advice of your brothers and sisters of Monka does us such an honor and truly speaks to what you offer your Mother Earth at this moment. And we are grateful for your attention to this matter in the seeking that has guided this attention. Our message is a message your planet wants you to hear. And that we have been able to play a small role in helping in its conveyance to your conscious awareness. Helps us heal our past mistakes with other civilizations and peoples in your sector of the infinite creation. And we are in your debt, my brothers and sisters. We are those of Monka. May we address our complex to any queries you may have this afternoon.
May I ask a question? So, a lot of the times, I can't tell if I'm intuitively feeling to refrain or go through with something, or if that's a part of me that desires comfort that's reaching out. Can you shed some light or provide any insights on that?
I am Monka. I am understanding your question in a certain manner and request your correction if we do not meet the mark, so to speak. Thank you for your patience. Your comfort is the outer shell of a deeper feeling nature. When we ask you to consider the sacrifice of your immediate comfort, we do not ask this because it is wrong to be comfortable. Indeed, there is very little that your intuition can offer you that would be useful if it were hateful to you. The intuition is the true root of what you pursue as comfort, qua comfort. So it is not that you should throw yourself into the fire of pain and hardship for the sake of pain and hardship. It is simply that when you are uncomfortable, you are learning. You are encountering something that doesn't feel right to the self you have learned to be. And you have an opportunity to dream up, shall we say, what a new kind of self might be. A third density conscious self, we mean, not your total self, for that is a given. Indeed, the tuning we are speaking of is part and parcel with a tuning within. And you may henceforth expect anything we address in your societal complex applies in some analogous way within, and vice versa. For this is the mystery of reflection, that it all is drawn into the center, and it is the drawing that feels better or worse, my brother. Therefore, consider a way in which discomfort can be a signal to slow down and feel. This would be the way of working with this experience this instrument can convey to you at this moment. We would offer more, but we do not feel he can mediate the message quite appropriately at this moment. Does that approach anywhere near an answer to your question, my brother?
That works for me. Yeah, thank you.
We are those of Monka. We are pleased that we could work with this instrument to do so. For we remind him that it is his tuning that is useful in our intercourse with you. And there are many different levels of our message that he may choose to convey to your circle. And all of them are acceptable to us, so long as he keeps his third eye squarely on the beam, incoming. Is there another query from your group?
I I'd ask something else unless someone else. Okay. My last question today, I'd say, is the moon an extension of the Earth, and how does it serve the logo, the sub-logos?
We are those of Monka and appreciate the intuitive faculties you have brought to bear on this question. Indeed, the moon is the more feminine side of the experience of being on the surface of the planet. This can be confusing because you have heard us and others in the Confederation speak of your Earth as a mother. But when you approach the orbital nature of consciousness, as we have hinted at in past sessions, you will see that this is a kind of phenomenon akin to reflection. When you are occupying the center of your awareness, it is a hologram of all of the energies and qualities inherent in that complex. As you occupy more distant positions from that center, you are traversing into the differentiated aspects of that center. In other words, in the same way that, say, your orbital model of the atom conveys different qualities in the electron than the proton or neutron, you have a way of understanding an atom dialectically than you do when you consider the atom as a whole. Similarly, the galaxy, the supergalaxy, the solar system, the planetary system of Earth all offer different instantiations of the same notes in the scale at different scales of volume, so to speak. We do not know if this meets the need your question expressed, but we hope that you can sit with this message and, once again, by feeling into its center and then expanding out and withdrawing within the different layers, you can see the principles involved such that each instance announces its truth to you. Surely you must understand that your experience of the moon is of far more value than ours. We offer a concept of the map, or rather a map, to you as a mind-body-spirit complex. But you must choose the route to take and the reason to travel. And there is no answer we may give to your query that does not require both the map and the purpose for using the map. Hopefully, this analogy, this metaphor, will serve your further seeking where the strict interpretation of our words have failed. May we expand upon this in any way, my brother.
Would you mind going a little bit into how the moon affects the Earth energetically?
I am Monka, and we will give a bit of an example of how one might approach this subject, as long as we have your assurance that you will not restrict your seeking to the model we lay out. Think of the tides of your oceans and water bodies. Do you have any inkling of what that macrocosm might represent within you in microcosm? Think of the phases the moon offers your eyes standing on the surface of this planet. What do these phases perhaps call to within you, within, correct this instrument, from the point of view of your center? Do you see how there is not the pat, easy narrative that provides an answer to these things? That instead these questions only unravel more curiosity, more mystery. But that this does not leave you forlorn, that you simply learn to think on different levels and thereby to feel the answers that do not precipitate into language, but instead precipitate into new forms of thought that then are expressed through action, through intention, in many different ways that you do not get to circumscribe with your conscious mind, but merely cooperate with. May we trust that this puzzling response can satisfy you for the nonce, my brother. We are those of Monka.
It was perfect. Thank you, Monka.
We are those of Monka. Are there any final queries at this moment? Very well, my brothers and sisters. We have enjoyed our time with you. We feel a deepening in our relationship with you that makes up a bit for our last time we were with this circle. There will be times in the future where contact will be less than optimal, shall we say. This is part of reaching across the density barrier for wisdom and inspiration. Remember, only your careful and honest discernment of our words brings any value to our mission in common. You are sorely needed on this planet, not as prophets of our message, but as channelers of your own deepest truth. We simply wish to convey that this skill of serving and tuning to the planet is not something you will learn as an outer act, but in many cases will feel like remembering a deep, hidden resource. It is in this manner of conveying vectors of approach, modes of thought, feeling tones that ride alongside the thought forms you encounter, that we urge you and cheer you on as you learn to come together and serve that great idea that draws you forth towards the upward spiraling light in the center of all creation, our one infinite creator. And now we take our leave of your circle. We are those of Monka. You have been our good friends thus far, and we wish to say how grateful we are for all you have sacrificed to allow this message to come through. We leave you in the love and the light of our one infinite creator. Adonai Vazu Baragas. I am Monka.